First of all, we need to define your dream self. Who is your dream self? And I would argue that you'll find the answer in saying your name. Not I, but your name. Your name is not only third person, but it is a concept. It is abstract. It is a beautiful amalgamation of who you were, who you want to be, who you are, and who you actually perceive yourself as the aggregate. But I would argue that what you think of, who you think of when you say your name, more leans toward who you want to be. And often the pain that we feel is a delta, a gap between who we are right now, who I am, what I'm doing, and what your name, my name, would do. I'm going to tell you how to weaponize that. In an interpersonal domain, what you are constantly doing is simulating the other person's mind. What are they thinking? What are they about to think? What are they about to do given what they must be thinking? That is empathy. Empathy is placing yourself in somebody else's shoes. Okay, that's incredibly simple. But to be empathetic, you must simulate their experience. As in a controlled way. Your mind is actively rehearsing the neural circuitry that theirs is. You are effectively thinking what they would be thinking, feeling what they would be feeling, such that you can then infer what they must think or do next. Now, you would have heard of the Batman effect, where children were told to adopt the exemplar persona of Batman. I don't know what you think of Batman. I think that when Batman says something, he means it. And these children, in adopting the persona of Batman, exhibited measurable increases in executive function and perseverance. In adopting the persona of Batman, simply thinking to. Because we're tainted and because we're simply more intelligent, we can understand that to be Batman all the time is not that great. Doesn't really help with the things that we deal with every single day. Okay, that's true. I respect that. But that is the point, that while you are simulating Batman's mind, you are looking down at your behavior, given the new perspective of Batman, and imposing whatever Batman would be doing as you're simulating it onto what you do next. You gain vantage, but you also gain identity distance. And that distance, that lack of precision, lack of fidelity is the reason why the answer for what you should do if you were Batman feels so hollow when it is inconvenient. I'm not going to do that because Batman doesn't understand what I'm going through right now. Batman has no idea the things that I deal with every single day. I'm not going to do what Batman would do. I'm going to do what I would do. And then what you would do is maybe a little bit better than Batman, but nowhere near as good as what you, your name, as a concept, as an identity would do. Because you both gain the vantage in adopting the persona of your name, not I, not your name, without the concession of identity distance. You gain far less distance and concede far less fidelity and precision by attributing your name to the persona, by imitating who you are. So we have the gap between who you are as a concept and I, when you refer to yourself, I. We have the weaponization of empathy. We understand now that, I'm sure you already did, empathy is simply the simulation of another person's mind, such that you can infer what they will think or do next. We have the Batman effect, where you can adopt an exemplar persona using the same mechanism as empathy, and now we have the fact that your self-identity as a concept actually holds exactly who you want to be and what you want to do. Because it is perfectly mapped onto your everyday life. It is a product of it. What I want you to do is, next time that you want to do something or don't want to do something, where either is contrary to your higher order goal, think, what would your name do? What would the concept, the idea of you do? And in doing so, you gain the benefits of the Batman effect, the vantage, the ability to look down on your behavior and faults of your ways objectively, where the parts are moving slowly because you're further away. If you look at those same behaviors from the immediate self, they're moving incredibly quickly, far too fast for you to actually act on them. But from that vantage, you can pick one out and throw it away, and then grab what you would do, or Batman would do, it's your choice, but you, and put it in. And it slots in perfectly. because there isn't the identity distance that you would otherwise have to concede in choosing to be Batman. If you choose to be Batman, the chances are that it is a triangle that you're trying to fit in the square hole. But because it's you, because it is you who is the product of who, because it's the product of your life, the square is going to fit in the square, but it's a prettier square, right? Yeah. You don't lose the identity distance.